you know, and most of it's just walking introspection. Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with my next episode of Was It Good? This is actually the series where I go back and take a look at things that I remember fondly from my past and to see if they still hold up today. Well, lately I've been working on my hack and or slash portion of said playlist, and I have been reviewing one after the other in chronological order the Friday the 13th series, and it has been something of an undertaking. Not that the watching of movies is difficult or anything, but you know, the collecting, the shooting, the editing, and all that has been something else. It's a much bigger project than I thought it was going to be, so I apologize for it taking so long to come to fruition, but we are finally at the end of the road when it comes to Friday the 13th movies. I do have some more other things in store for it. I'm not just going to end it on the last movie note. I want to do some top 10s and that sort of thing, so definitely want to see some audience participation down in the comments below to kind of, you know, flesh that out. So we are now at the end of the proverbial road, except for like fan filmed them. And that is none other than the 2009 remake of Friday the 13th. This movie is directed by Marcus Nispel. He of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and some other movie fame. So he is definitely no neophyte to the genre. This had something of a blended feel to it, this movie did. Like, it took portions of basically the first 4 movies and put them together. Of course, you start off, there's no part of this where Pamela is the killer, even though they allude to it in the beginning when she's beheaded by the one, I guess you call it final girl of that movie that was never made.
Watching him every minute.
And then Jason is basically the only killer in this entire movie. So, but how they blend it is they kind of give him a mixture of the looks from the movies. Like, he starts out with sackhead version, and then it's more like mummy rap version, but whatever. And then he moves on to grab the hockey mask, probably about a third of the way through, maybe half the way through. And he stays that way throughout. So, at least as far as appearances go, it's kind of a blending. Jason himself is definitely channeling his, Brooker and Ted White kind of, motif. Maybe Steve Dash too, you can include, because he's really active and he moves a lot in this movie.
What the fuck? What is that? No!
So he's definitely a far cry from the lumbering zombie, which we see, from part 6 onward. So, let's go ahead and break it down a little bit, and then I'll find out, or I'll say at the end whether I think the movie was good or not. So, we start out, of course, with the prequel scene of Mrs. Voorhees, losing her head over a bad situation. And from there, we are treated to basically a 20-minute opening before the credits even, or the initial credits even run, of a group of teenagers out to do what groups of teenagers in Friday the 13th do. Do drugs, drink, and have premarital sex.
Wait, you gotta bounce, dude. Tell your dumb shit to somebody else.
I get why? Because I'm fucking teaching you something?
That's probably...
A la the famous line from Jason Goes to Hell. So, interesting setup, even though it spends way too long on these kids and their pursuit of the elusive cannabis plant. But what is interesting about this is it kind of pre-shadows the way Jason behaves in this movie, and it's kind of, you get a glimpse around at one of the main sets, which is the Camp Crystal Lake. Once they find the cabins, that is. But anyway, after about 10-15 minutes, the action starts here, and Jason starts picking them off one by one in pretty fast style. He does some serious teleporting here, probably even more so than maybe everything but part 8. He does move really fast, so maybe that explains some of it, but he's a ninja, he's fast, and he's like teleports like Doctor Strange, so at least in this initial part, and actually some of the later parts too, so you kind of gotta forgive that a little bit. So he's dispatching everyone with some pretty cool stuff, and it kind of shows how they changed him up. In this movie, they want him to be like a territorial kind of hunter kind of persona. He's setting traps, and he's baiting people out, and that sort of thing, like him setting the bear trap for whatever his name was to step on, very conveniently. Luckily, he just picked that right spot to step on. Yeah, so he does some interesting stuff here, like stringing the girl up over the fire does not seem like a Jason thing. He's a little more the quick and dirty, but once again, they were trying to change the character up just a little bit, maybe make him a little more intelligent or and a little less feral. I don't know what the actual goal was, but hey, it is what it is, and that's what we got. So at the end, we're treated to kind of a fake out, quick edit where it looks like he's going to chop the girl up, but as we all know who've seen the movie, it's not to be the case. Because of a locket she picked up and her striking resemblance to, well, you know, I'll talk about that later.
Hey, it looks like you.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It's cool. You should keep it.
But, so anyway, now we are at current day, which is, I think, a month later, 2 months later, something like that. And we meet Jared Padalecki, he of Supernatural fame, and he plays Clay in this movie. I guess the main character, though, to be honest, you don't see a ton of him. So basically, he turns into a walking exposition dump in a lot of most of the scenes he has in this movie, or he's warning people not to do something stupid, you know. That's what he's been reduced to. But so Jared is looking for his sister. Apparently, his sister was one of the campers that Jason offed in the first part.
My sister, she came camping up around here with some friends, and she's gone missing.
So, you know, he's around talking to strange locals.
She ain't missing. She's dead.
What?
People go missing around here. They're gone for good.
And he runs afoul of a group of new teenagers that are going to be the obvious Jason fodder in this movie.
You okay, bro? Is everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. Thanks. But I'm not your bro.
It's a group of really unlikable characters, actually. They have character traits established, and then they don't. I don't know. It just, you feel very disconnected from these characters for some reason. They try to make the one guy extremely douchey.
So you don't want to be friends after this? You don't want to hang out?
Let it go, Trent.
It's not me. This guy's being a dick.
Yeah, it's me. Obviously, I'm the one being a dick.
I mean, the girls are... There's no personality with those girls other than them wanting to party. What Chewie is kind of the prankster, jokester, I guess. But they all devolve into such, like, college stereotypes. And by that I mean, like, it's like these guys are sitting around playing beer pong. They're out in the woods, right? They're by themselves partying, and they're playing, like, beer pong and stupidity like that. Constant shots, smoking weed left and right.
Lucia? Baby, is that you? Lawrence, you've been cheating on me. No. I saw you with a bowl the other night. No, you. A bowl.
So, I mean, I guess it's the idea of a party some of these guys had back then, but I don't know, you just, like, while they have a decent amount of screen time in this movie, you just don't really get to know them, or more importantly, you don't give a damn about them. You just basically can't wait till Jason dispatches them with relish. No hot dog puns allowed. So Jared, or should I say Clay, runs afoul of these guys, and, you know, friction ensues, but the douche's girlfriend, Perry, takes a liking to Clay, and she feels sympathetic to his cause, but they'll meet up again later. So some more really Scooby-Doo-ish investigation goes on. And then we are introduced to the proto-redneck guy who's conveniently foreshadowing things in the future, like the wood shepherd. I don't know. Are they going to use this later on in the movie, even though, because they lingered the shot on there? I don't know. But, yeah, he's the ultimate redneck asshole, and you know he's going to bite it.
Fucking lucky there, Stretch. Came about that close to hitting the start button on the whoop-ass machine, boy.
Even though apparently if you go by later stuff, his shed that he's working in, or house, or whatever it is he's at, is like 100 yards from Jason's lair. So apparently, they do make some mention, just like a passing quote or a passing term, that someone's been stealing kerosene. So apparently Jason's been stealing kerosene from those guys. Maybe that's why he lets him live. I don't know if he's thinking that much ahead.
Somebody's been stealing his fucking kerosene, too.
So, the redneck guys gets dispatched, of course, after unmasking Jason. You don't really get to see him that well, but you can see enough of him to see he's pretty messed up looking.
What the? That shit ain't fucking right, dude.
And then the famous hockey mask is found. So Jason discards the sack, and away we go. We are now Hockey Mask Jason. We are part 3 and beyond, I guess. So far, the kills are nothing too special, other than the one, like the prologue guy getting the machete in the head. That's a pretty good one. That one just shows you how violent this guy is. And he's really strong and powerful, you can tell. So, you know, Clay makes his way back to the house. You know, some more kids die. Clay won't leave. There's more friction between Douchebag and Clay, and then, you know, random happenstance gets Clay walking out with a girlfriend. They find the abandoned camp, and they kind of find out where his sister's being held. After finding out Jason is hanging around the camp, he apparently has wired it up, or he figured out how to turn the power back on there, assuming with a diesel generator somewhere. He didn't turn it on, he just turns the on switch, but whatever. Showing some of Jason's coolness is like when he finds a backpack. He flips, man. He's very territorial in this, and he doesn't want anyone getting near his camp. He always has been in the past, but they really make great effort here to show that to the audience. So, yeah, they stumble upon Jason's lair, this gigantic complex of, like, it's supposed to be an underground mine or something. He's got that one wired for power too, and it's pretty cozy down there, even though rat infested. But that's where he's been staying, apparently unnoticed by anybody for all these years. And there's some other weird set pieces. There's a chase scene where the new love interest just doesn't make it out, kind of almost sacrificing herself for the cause, and then they wind up in the weirdest set in the movie, like this school bus that's been turned over inside. It's out in the middle of nowhere, in the woods. How it got out there, we have no idea. And apparently one of Jason's many points of egress opens up right through the school bus. I mean, it's really cool imagery. It's just so weird. This is a weird spot. And then we see Jason, like, reverting to his part 2 phase, where he has a hold of Clay off screen and apparently drops him. Doesn't kill him. He just lets go of him and goes after her. And so they're doing some more chasing, and they wind up in that shed that I mentioned earlier, which is obviously very close to to Jason's lair. Meanwhile, Jason's killed off all the other teens, by the way. I didn't want to get into it too much. I'll get that in the description at the end. And then final fight ensues. And Jason is apparently killed, but, you know, we all know better than that.
Jason! Say hi to Mommy! In hell!
So rather than leave, they apparently hang around until morning, throw Jason's body in the lake for some unknown reason, along with his machete and mask. And then sit there. Apparently this water is full of nutrients because it reses Jason almost immediately, and he comes back for the final jump scare. And fade to black, the end. We don't know what happens to them. We're assuming they died, unless this is a dream, like the end of part 2. Who is to know? But, so basically that is Friday the 13th remake in a very, very, very condensed form. Skipped over a ton of stuff, but honestly, this movie is pretty shallow, so there's not really a whole lot to get into. It takes aspects, like I said, from the first, basically, or for 2 through 4. You got the guy looking for his sister or family member. You got Jason changing appearances. You got Jason moving fast. So it's basically just a hodgepodge. Okay, just set in more modern times. There's some good things to be had here. All right, first off, the cinematography is amazing. I love the shots in this movie. There's plenty of like camera chase shots where the camera's following someone running around. It's a really active camera, a la like Steve Miner or Tom McLaughlin from parts 2, 3, and 6, respectively. Steve Miner doing the first 2, or 2 and 3. So that part I have no problem with. I like the lighting in this movie. There's kind of a nice buttery golden light where it's appropriate. Like when he finds the mask, I love the lighting in this. It looks so cool and natural, you know. Very nice. No problem there. The acting. Whoo, okay. I'll say this. I'm sure every actor did exactly what they were told to do. I'm sure the actors just how they're written. There was no exceedingly bad performances. There was some over-the-top stuff, but you know, nothing too out of the ordinary there. It's just the characters, they're mostly unlikable. Jared Padalecki acts like he's in one of the slower episodes of Supernatural, just kind of going through the motions a little bit. He has a little bit of like emotion here and there, but he doesn't really try too hard. It doesn't seem that way, or he's not asked to. Maybe he's told to play a little more deadpan, but so he's kind of forgettable in this too. Basically everybody is. If anyone's to be commended for their acting in this movie, it's probably 2 people. Chewie is pretty good, though I find him very annoying, and enough can't be said about Derek Mears' portrayal of Jason. Man, he nails this guy. It is very refreshing to see Jason scary again.
Jason!
In 2 through 4, he was fairly scary. After that, not at all. Especially when he gets to the lumbering phase, you know, the zombie phase. He's just not scary at all. This guy can run you down. He can overpower you. He's obviously relentless. He's completely soundless. I know in the first, like, or 2 through 3, he would grunt when hurt, and this one he doesn't make any noise at all. He exudes a menace about him, just standing there looking around, and he's like... And you can see this guy is seething with rage, man.
Jason?
Excellent portrayal by Derek Mears. Once again, I know a lot of people give this movie hell, but I don't know if anyone really gives him a hard time about the performance, because it's just excellent. And if they were to reprise the movie for whatever reason, I would like to see him do it again, because I think his take on it was basically perfect. The only complaint I have about it is you don't really see that much of him. It's mostly just quick cut shots, and then it's gone. I mean, I think the most you see of him at one given time is when they're hiding under the canoe or whatever, and he's just kind of looking around for them. Excellent stuff, though, man. I'd love to interview Derek one day and get his take on how he got into character for this movie. I know it seems simple. Well, you just stop talking and you look around mean, but it's not that easy, because then you have to telegraph aggression with no dialogue and not even looks. You can't see the guy's eyes, so just a great performance. Jason's portrayal is generally unnerving for basically the first time in a long time, and it's much more than in 2 through 4. Because he just seems more unstoppable in this movie. You know what I mean? He just seems more powerful. He seems more driven and determined than he did even in those first 2. Ted White was really close to this, but Jason's kind of a bigger, just meaner, leaner thing. So this is an excellent portrayal of Jason. Definitely top 3, maybe even top 2 in the series. So great stuff there. The kills are decent, I guess. I really dig, it's one of my favorite, actually, the series, the Chewie kill scene, just because it's really brutal. Not that there's that much bloodshed or whatever, but it's a lingering one. Jason usually is one and done. Usually gets in there, you know, instant kill, instant gib, and then it's over. And this one, it's like a struggle. I mean, Chewie's there fighting for his life, and it's just a slow turnaround of events where the screwdriver is just kind of turned and then rammed up in there. Still slow though, and Jason's just sitting there staring at him while the guy's dying for like 30 seconds. It's pretty brutal, man, and yeah, it's definitely a highlight of the movie. There's some other notable ones in there. What's his name? Trent, I believe it is. The douchebag. He gets it hard. Oh my gosh, he takes a while to go. And he's finished off in great style. But most of the other ones are more flash and not much substance. I like the axe throw one because it seems kind of a little more realistic. You know, he does it the two-handed throw, and his whole body lunges like an axe thrower would. So I kind of like that one a little bit too. It's interesting. And then he uses that guy for bait again too. So the kills are decent. Nothing too gratuitous or stomach churning. You know, that's most of the good. The bad, yeah, the characters are bad. Other than Jason, I didn't care a damn about any of them. It's pretty bad when you care more about the killer than you do about the characters in the movie, but that's just the way it is. I can't remember her name. I'll try to flash it on the screen somewhere below here, but the sister did all right too. The one that was kept in captivity for a while. She seemed to relay fear pretty well.
It's okay.
No real complaints there, but everyone else was kind of just forgettable. I mean, they're mostly friendly and likable enough, except for when they're made to be douchebags. But for the most part, there's just, once again, it's just a Friday the 13th movie. They're supposed to be fodder, and that they do well. So, but yeah, the character's not too exciting. The whole idea of his compound is really kind of goofy. I mean, why wouldn't he just stay in the camp, you know? Why does he got to stay underground? I know it's a little more hidden down there and no one knows where it's at, but it just seems, I don't know, just that place would be swarming with rats. He's got all those dead bodies down there, and he'd be swarming with disease, and it'd be the stench would be unbearable. There'd be all kinds of stuff going on there, vermin and everything. It just doesn't make any sense. They'd be chewing on him in his sleep, you know? They gave him a psychological aspect in this movie, like when he's sharpening his machete in there and he kind of loses it and it trashes the place. Almost like part 3 when he trashes the stable when he's looking for whatever, I can't remember her name, Trish I think it was, at the end of part 3. And he gets mad and starts trashing everything. So maybe that's an homage there. But the way he looks around, and he seems not really conflicted, but he just seems like very vengeful but almost childlike in a way. They gave him that psychological aspect, and maybe they didn't need to do that. I like to keep him a little more ambiguous, just like, okay, maybe some people are just bad. You know, maybe he had a tragic childhood, but he's still just bad, you know. That can happen. So nothing too spectacular there. They didn't mess with the lore too terribly, so I can appreciate that. And they basically just made it a slick, polished, newer age horror movie, you know, full of, you know, good-looking people dying in bad ways. I mean, that's just the horror formula that's been worked to death since, what, the 50s? So no difference there. So what do I think about this movie? Well, I put it middle of the road as far as Friday the 13th go. As I've said for the last 2 movies, this movie would probably appeal to people who are not fans of the series as much quite a bit more than the earlier ones. It's easier to watch. The pacing, this one's a little slow though too, I will admit. The pacing definitely drags toward the center part of the movie. But that's all right. I don't mind that so much. It's still not a long movie or anything. But yeah, I think newer audiences would probably find this easier to watch, especially younger audiences, than some of the older ones. There's a lot of gratuitous nudity in this one, so careful letting the kiddies watch this. Of course, a lot of swearing, but like I said, nothing too bad. It's not like an Andrew Dice Clay concert or anything. I like the portrayal of Jason. Everyone else can go. But I don't know, it's just a popcorn horror movie. It's nothing you can be sitting there thinking about or picking apart in your mind for hours and days afterwards. It's 90 or 100 minutes, whatever, of in and out. You're done. You watch a horror movie, you watch some deaths, and there you go. What grade would I give this thing? I'd probably have to give this a 3 out of 5. It checks all the Friday the 13th boxes for the most part. Jason's portrayal is great. The camera work is really, really superb, I think. It's hampered a lot by writing and unlikable characters. That's really about the only thing wrong with it. That and the weird compound thing. I don't know about all that. And then reimagining Jason is something of a troubled personality. Of course he's troubled. I mean, look what he's done throughout the entire series. But so, enjoyable romp. I don't think it deserves most of the hate that it gets. In defense, though, I would probably watch this one like a little less. I would much prefer to watch 4 again, or 6, even 7, and definitely Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason. I'd watch all those before I watch this again. But, it's not without its merit, and, there's far worse ways to spend an hour and a half on an evening. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this. This is going to be the end of the movies, but there'll be more things to come regarding Friday the 13th, because, the series just, it needs more recognition than it already gets, right? So, I'll probably do some top 10 list, referencing the movies, either kills, final girls, whatever. And then I'm also going to rank the movies from my favorite to least favorite or whatever, or I'll probably go reverse, actually, least favorite to favorite. So I can't waffle. So I'll put all of them in there, and then we'll take it from there. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching this all the way to the end, this series, and like I said, it's been an epic undertaking, and can't wait to get started on my next series. And by the way, I hope you like my new setup here. It's I just did it today, so hopefully it comes out okay. But I felt like I wanted to do like a ring announcer or something, so I rigged up the mic and all that, and had the mic that wasn't doing nothing. So anyway, that's not here nor there. You don't care about that. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Until next time, this is Genome at the end of the adventure. Out.